Of discussion is shear modulus. Okay, the ratio of shearing stress to be corresponding to shearing strain is nothing but shear modulus, which is denoted by capital G. Okay, and it is shear stress upon shearing strain, that is sigma s upon theta. Now stress is force upon area, and the other one is, that is strain, is delta x upon L. So FL upon A into delta x. Now shearing strain is delta x upon L, which is tan theta, and tan theta is theta is very small, so tan theta is equivalent to theta, and therefore delta x upon L can be replaced by theta. Okay, and the answer or the simplification can be, here this equation can be written as F upon A upon theta, or F upon A theta. The shearing stress sigma s can also be expressed as sigma s is equal to G into theta. Okay, that can also be one way of representation. Its unit is Pascal or Newton per meter square. Okay, these are some values of the shearing, rather modulus of shear, or we can say the shear modulus. Okay, the values are given here. The shear modulus of few common material are given in this table. It can be seen that shear modulus or modulus of rigidity, sometimes it is written as modulus of rigidity, try to understand the name. Okay, is generally less than the Young's modulus, and for most material it is found that G is y upon 3. Now we shall talk about the bulk modulus. When a body is submerged in a liquid, it undergoes hydraulic stress equal in magnitude to the hydraulic pressure. This leads to the decrease in the volume, okay, thus producing the strain called volume strain. Okay, and volume strain is delta V upon V. So the ratio of hydraulic stress to the corresponding hydraulic strain, that is hydraulic stress is force upon area, that is pressure, delta V upon V is the strain. So stress upon strain, that is denoted by bulk modulus B, and it is minus P upon delta V upon V. Here negative sign shows that with the increase in pressure, okay, there will be a decrease in the volume. That is, if P is positive, delta V is negative. Thus, for a system in equilibrium, the value of bulk modulus is always positive. An SI unit of the bulk modulus is Newton per meter square, Pascal. The dimensional formula will be M1 L minus 1 T minus 2. Now we talk about the compressibility. The reciprocal of the bulk modulus is a compressibility, and it is denoted by K. Okay, it is also defined as the fractional change in volume per unit increase in pressure. Okay, fractional change in volume in unit increase in the pressure is defined as the compressibility, and inverse is taken, so you will get minus delta V upon delta P. Okay, or it can be written in this way also, simplified version. Okay, and the unit will be the reciprocal of this Newton per meter square. Okay, and reciprocal of Newton per meter square will be meter square per Newton, or Pascal inverse. Dimensional formula will be M minus 1 L1 T2. Okay. Now there is a explanation of Poisson's ratio. Okay. Now whenever there are observations from Young's modulus indicates that when the weight is suspended below the wire, it cross-sectional radius slightly decreases. Whenever there is slight increase in the length, there will be a slight decrease in its radius. If tensile force is applied to a body, its length increases but magnitude of lateral dimensions perpendicular to the length decreases. Here, wire is taken so diameter will decrease. Try to understand whenever you have this kind of cylindrical object, okay, and when you apply the force, its length will increase, but simultaneously what will happen is diameter will be slightly decreasing. Okay, so this dimension, one dimension increases, the other one reduces. If compressed force applied, its length decreases and hence diameter, that is lateral dimension, will increase. Poisson. Find out that lateral strain is directly proportional to the longitudinal strain. Lateral strain is directly proportional to longitudinal strain, and the ratio of lateral strain to the longitudinal strain is defined as Poisson's ratio. If original diameter is d and change in diameter is delta d, then delta d upon d will be the lateral strain, and original length is L, change in length is delta L, then longitudinal strain will be delta L upon L. So lateral strain upon longitudinal strain. So lateral strain is delta d upon d and longitudinal is delta L upon L. So this Poisson's ratio will be denoted by mu, okay, and it can be delta d upon d upon delta L upon L. Okay, so if you simplify it, then delta d into L upon delta L upon d. Since Poisson's ratio is the ratio of two strains, it will be having no unit and dimensions. Its value depend on the type of material, and its value for steel is between 0.28 to 0.3. Its value for alloys of aluminium is almost about 0.33. Now there is an explanation of Poisson's ratio, and we want to show that its value is less than 0.5. Poisson's ratio is lateral strain upon longitudinal strain. Okay. In case of cylindrical rod, if its length is L, radius is R. If you stretch, then what will happen? Its radius decreases and length increases, and therefore delta R upon R, okay, lateral strain is equal to minus mu delta L upon L. Okay, as radius decreases, delta R will be negative, and that is why minus sign is kept. Volume is pi r square L. For small changes, okay, delta V, fractional change in volume, is 2 times delta R upon R because power of radius is 2, and delta L upon L. Okay, now from this first equation, okay, delta V upon V can be written as minus 2 times mu delta L upon L plus delta L upon L, because as you know, delta R upon R is nothing but mu delta L upon L with negative sign. So instead of this delta R upon R, we have written this minus mu delta L upon L. Okay, so the equation changes to delta V upon V. Delta V upon V is equal to, as such, we have 2 delta R upon R plus delta L upon L, but instead of this delta R upon R, we have written mu delta L upon L. Okay, delta L upon L is taken common, so it becomes 1 minus 2 mu. Delta L upon L is nothing but strain, okay, epsilon L, longitudinal strain. Okay, so it becomes 1 minus 2 mu in the bracket as it is. Now this equation shows that for delta V greater than 0, value of mu cannot be increased from 0.5. So this equation is true for any cross section of the rod. Okay. Now we want to determine the elastic potential energy stored in the stretch wire. When a wire is stretched, work is done against the internal resisting forces which are acting between particles of the wire. Okay, so the work done will appear as elastic potential energy in the wire. We consider one wire of length capital L and its area initially is A. Now deforming force F is applied on the wire and small l is the increase in the length. So Young's modulus according to this formula FL upon A into delta L, here delta L is small l. Okay. Work done dW, that is force into displacement. Okay. So force you can write from this equation. From this equation we can find the force F is equal to Y A delta L. Instead of delta L it is small l. Okay, Y A delta L upon original length L. So this is the force. Multiply by small displacement if you do, then you will get the small work done dW. So dW will be equal to Y A L upon capital L into dl. Okay, YAL upon capital L into dl, this equation. Now if the length is increased, say for example work W we want to find out, to increase the length of the wire. Okay, and wire's length initially is L, now you want to make it L plus L, then work done. Say initially there was no increase in length, that is L is equal to 0. Now there is increase in the length up to small l. So initially the wire was in original position. Okay, so from 0 to increase in the length of L, what is the work done? So that work done can be found by using integration F dl. 0 to L is the limit of integration. Okay, here Y A capital L, all these are constants. Okay, so Y A and L are constants, they are taken out. Now you have L and dl in the integration. 0 to L is the limit. Now integration, we have to increase the power by 1. So this integration will result as Y A L as it is, into power is increased by 1, so it becomes L square upon that power, that is 2. So Y A L square upon 2 into L will be the answer. Okay, now just rearrangement is done. 1 by 2 is taken. Okay, Y is taken. This small l upon L and whole square is taken. Okay, and we have multiplied by L. So this equation is multiplied and divided by L. So it becomes this way. 1 by 2, as this 2 is taken separate, Y is taken in the numerator. Then L upon this L into L. This L into L will become L square. So L upon L whole square into AL. Now try to understand. This is written as this way, you can write. Okay, easily it can be understood now if you know all the terms. Okay, this is Young's modulus. L upon L is strain, so strain square, area into length is volume of wire. Okay, now Young's modulus is nothing but stress upon strain. So instead of Young's modulus, if you write stress upon strain, then one strain will be cancelled out with this strain square. So you can show it like this: 1 by 2 stress upon strain into strain square. So one strain is getting cancelled out, so you get 1 by 2 stress into strain, that is written here 1 by 2 stress into strain into volume of wire. It is remaining as it is. Okay, so the work done in the wire is the elastic potential energy. Whatever is the work done is nothing but elastic potential energy. So the stored elastic potential energy per unit is obtained, and that stored elastic potential energy per unit volume, say this is energy, that is say capital U upon the volume of wire, upon volume, then that will give you 1 by 2 sigma into epsilon, that is stress into strain. So 1 by 2 sigma into E is elastic potential energy per unit volume, which is here denoted by small u. SI unit of elastic potential energy density will be Newton per meter square or Pascal, and dimensional formula will be m1 L minus 1 T minus 2. Here this chapter is getting over. Please try to watch all the videos 2-3 times and write the questions in your notebook. Okay, thank you very much.